During the time that has elapsed since the first release of the educational film about the assembly of LED lights, the part about components used in the project has been improved. In particular, they have a new type of connector which is much more reliable and compact. This connector uses smaller size pins which look like this. We will show you what is special about the filling of blowholes of these contacts. Before filling the blowholes, remove the insulation from the cable a length of about 2 mm. Pay attention to the form of contacts ears which are removed just from the tape. They are quite widely separate. Now we bend these ears to make them approximately parallel to each other, that is to say, taking this form. Next, set between the sponges a piece of wire with insulation. Thus the contact is held on the wire independently and does not fall down. Pay attention that the bare end of the wire does not enter the tubular part of the connector. For crimp contacts, use the standard tool for crimping contacts type D sub, for example this one. Pay attention, we need exactly that part of the tool which is designed for crimping contacts wires type AWG 24 to 28. Establish contact so that the tubular part remains outside the crimping sponges. Also pay attention to the orientation of contact in the tool. It should be exactly like this. Then we press the contacts. Note that for some tools there is no need to close the sponges completely, as closing them completely may damage the contact. This is how it looks when the contact has been correctly crimped. Pay attention to the contact's fixator. Put a contact inside the connector, orienting it this way. Pay attention to the contact's fixator position. Make sure that the fixator took the correct position. Here is how the finished connector looks with 2 contacts, and here it is with 8. For large connectors, we recommend using painting adhesive tape to make from the group of wires a semblance of a plume. It's much more convenient to mount the connector, and it looks better aesthetically. Here is what the new variant of 2 driver assemblies looks like with new connectors. Install the connector into its socket. Here is what the full prescribed length of the connector looks like. To take out the connector from the jack, we must take out the lateral plastic ears like this. Attention, do not take out the wire. Then shake the connector from side to side. It takes some force to remove it from the jack. Keep in mind that the more wires in the connector, the less effort you need to remove it. Driver assembly may have in its composition 7 drivers. Here, with the power connector, will be the helical, as we have shown in the film earlier, and the connectors for the LED chains, such as we have just seen. The new version of the controller can use for its supply voltage from 6 to 60 volts, and also has such power as a connector. We will show you how to set the secondary optics on the LED assembly. For this, we take a narrow secondary optics and LED assembly of the 3rd version. On the optics there are 3 mounting feet, and on the board with LEDs 3 holes for the installation of these legs. Apply a small amount of glue, as which you can use silicone sealant on the ends of the legs of optics, and set it exactly into the holes on the board. Caution! Kinds of cyanoacrylate glue, also known as superglue or instant adhesive, cannot be used. Please be careful and do not solidify glue the primary optics of LEDs. If you have properly installed optics, it will sit tight in the holes of the metal plate even without glue. It won't fall out even at high angles of incline of the board. We recommend practicing the installation of optics before the gluing to develop skills and avoid the dangers of dirtying the optics by glue. Next, install on the assembly diffuser, which also protects the LEDs from dust. For this, on the end of the diffuser, apply a small amount of silicone sealant or adhesive. Again, we remind you, some kinds of cyanoacrylate glue, known as superglue or instant adhesive, cannot and should not be used. Next, carefully set the ring with a diffuser on top of the secondary optics. Assembly with secondary optics and diffuser looks like this.